how realistic do you think VR could be kind of implemented into music venues? Like how realistic of a concept going forward, or how soon do you think that could be a thing? Because VR,
I
it's growing.
I've had a lot of conversations since I started this venue thing about that, and essentially, the end product is a streaming type experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And it's expensive. It requires a very large broadband, and it also requires lighting that sometimes disrupts the experience for the people actually in the room. So that's why it hasn't really taken off. Like there hasn't really been a system that doesn't interfere with the actual in-person experience, and that is a good business model that creates revenue. I think a lot of people imagine a scenario where they create this really cool in-person VR experience and that they can just market it and people are going to buy it and just sit in their houses and watch shows, and it just hasn't turned into that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that there will be some versions of that, and we are seeing some systems being put into venues in Austin, and I know in other places, to create that VR experience. I'm just not convinced that it's ever gonna like take off and become like a real thing, because I think what people really want, you either want to go to the venue and have that sort of sweaty, smelly experience, or you want to stay at home and where it's clean and not smelly. You
Right.
know,
There, there's
yeah.
one there's one alternative that I saw. I don't know if you guys saw this, the Flaming Lips show in the bubbles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw an article
So
on that.
yeah,
I wonder how much that is. That could be kind of cool, I gotta admit.
it's interesting.
Everything Rebecca said, but then I think part of it is again consumer demand, and I don't think the experience that VR offers is sophisticated enough and is accessible enough in terms of cost for it to be adopted
Mhm.
more wide scale. So
Mm-hmm.
when VR becomes an experience that's more integrated, I think, into average consumer experiences, then it'll be expected. Like other industries will just have to adapt into that. But I really think that the pivotal key point is the adaptation of kinesthetic technology experience that's being developed by the gaming industry into like our computer daily work life experience, to where it creates a more, we'll just say like Minority Report sort of experience to that will also, by virtue of that, level up and lift up VR, so that again it's not putting on goggles and then streaming a
Right.
show. It'll be like, oh, this feels like I'm doing something, and it
The
feels
4D aspect of it.
there's this tactile experience inside of live music outside of the togetherness that's just not replicatable. I mean, it's so physical. I
Mhm.
mean, the sounds, the smells, the energy, it's so physical, And
Mm-hmm.
that I think is something on a primal level that is becoming more qualitatively difficult to experience in our average experiences as consumers, right? Which makes, I think, live music that much more like valuable and just irreplaceable. Again, if we are all like living in Ready Player One avatar worlds where fully immersed like visual realities, that's like a totally different piece. But technology is probably, I don't know, it probably is outside of my lifetime at this point, just by indicators of where the arc is sort of like stalled out. So I
Mhm.
think it's like a really cool conversation, but I think the stepping stone is how do you integrate the actual gaming kinesthetic experience into our average consumer experience with technology more fully, in a way that will probably propel forward some of that virtual application and accessibility. Um, I've talked to some people who are like kind of obsessed with this, so it's not like I didn't create this idea, but for folks who
It
are in
sounded
tech
just like it.
and gaming, I've been gaming since a kid, so like I have theories about how that teaches us and how the feedback teaches us things.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is the gateway into next level technology and consumer technology. Also, it's like one of the most profitable entertainment technologies on the planet right now. So if we're not learning from like what gaming systems and like Twitch and what the younger generations are doing with like that sort of social compatibility experience, I think that we're gonna lose. We'll just lose out because they'll replace all of us anyways, right? We're all like, they're like 2.0. We're all a version behind since we don't have TikToks and Discords.